Glenda works at Universidad de Lima, and she's in the TESOL Gulf BOD, and she leads the Global Education PLN at TESOL International. And today she's going to be talking to us about vocabulary teaching, especially in an online context. So like I said, we are very, very excited to have you here. Just if you have any questions, please put them on the chat. We're going to have a moment at the end of the session for questions and answers. And well, I hope that you enjoy the workshop.
Yes, hello everybody again. If you have just joined the webinar, yes, I'm Glenda Gallardo, and well, I'm from Lima, from Peru, and today my presentation has to do with vocabulary, right? So let me share my slides. Okay, so teaching vocabulary in an active way. Well, right now I'm teaching online. I don't know if you continue with remote teaching. So what I'm going to tell you is about what I have been doing. There are many, many things that we can do when we teach vocabulary, but I'll share just a few because, I mean, we don't have all day to talk about this. So this is my agenda. We are going to start with the do's and don'ts about teaching vocabulary, and then go to student-centered vocabulary techniques, and then this is the rich part, the third one, the fun vocabulary practice activities, and then the conclusions and the Q&A. All right, so let's get it started. So first of all, the do's and don'ts will be in a Kahoot. Yes, the Kahoot is there. Yes, if you look to the right side of the screen, you're going to see an option to play Kahoot there. So this first part, it will be a Kahoot, so hang on. This Kahoot has to do with the do's and don'ts when planning a vocabulary lesson, all right? So I'll show you some sentences, and you have to choose if it's a do, yes, like this is what we should do, or if it's a don't, it's something that we should not do when we are teaching vocabulary, all right? So let me share the Kahoot, and 1 second.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'll put the
So
link, the code
yes.
on the chat for everyone, just in case you
All
need it
right.
again.
Thank you, Miriam. So Miriam is giving me a hand with that. And can you see this is the pin number? So you have to go to the Kahoot, which is on the right hand side of the menu. Yes, and the code is this one. And
Yes,
you
you
type
have
your
the.
name. Yes, when I play with my
Mhm.
students, please, Miriam, give me a hand with
No,
that.
I was going to say that we have the code on the chat for everyone, so you can just copy and paste it. And you should have the Kahoot tab next to questions and answers. If you don't have it, please refresh, and it should be there as soon as you refresh. Okay, we already have it.
Yes. Sometimes you need to refresh the screen. Yes, when I joined, it was like I couldn't see anything. I only saw chat, sondeos, personas, Q&A, and then I didn't have the Kahoot. But then I refreshed my screen and I saw it in the last option, Kahoot. Very good. When I play with my students, I also tell them, yes, I'm very happy to see that you are with your names, because sometimes they are very funny and they make up names and it's like, who is this? Yes, and well, you have to tell them, I need to see names and last names. Yes, just in case you play Kahoot. Well, there are many things to play online. Well, Kahoot is one of my favorite, maybe because I have many Kahoots there and I have like learned to do it and I still love it. So, okay, I think we can get started maybe. Yes, so you will see the questions, and then you just click what do you think. Yes, and I will be telling you a bit more about why this is the answer. So let's begin. Okay, so I have teaching vocabulary, do's and don'ts, and we start in 1-0. So it's a quiz. Okay, so let's choose, is it a do or a don't? The question is on top. Yes, very good. So 4 people have that is a don't. Yes. And now, why? Today we are going to learn some new vocabulary. When we teach, even if we teach vocabulary, yes, the idea is that we do it in context, right? So rather than saying, today we're going to learn this list or this group of words, just give them a context, and then the topic, all the words will be within that frame, and it would make better sense rather than saying this is a list. So that's why this is a don't. Okay, very nice. We have Santi, Carla, Carmen, Jeffrey, and Katar, Katarzyna. Very nice. Okay, now this is the second thing. So is it a do or a don't? Okay, so let's see. Yes, in the Kahoot, you can play in the Kahoot. You can join the Kahoot as well. Yes, at any time. The number always appears on the screen in the corner, the right-hand side corner below the don't. All right. Yeah, so we all agree. So it's a don't. Teach as many words as possible. No, we have to be very careful about how many words we teach. And it depends on your student's level, right? But it's not like, okay, for today we're gonna learn 50 words, 100 words. It's too much. We have to shrink this to maybe 8, maybe 6, depending on the level, right? So not all the words you can in a day. Okay. So the leading position, okay, Santi continues the leading position. Very good. Carmen follows him, and Jeffrey and Felisa and Janina. Well done. Now here is the third one. It's only 5. Okay. So what about this sentence? All right. You can join the Kahoot anytime. Yes, the number is here at the bottom on the right hand side. You can join anytime and you can still win. Sometimes my students join late or they have an internet problem and then they join back and they still get to reach the first places. But well, we are having fun. Just that's for fun. You can also participate in the chat box if you have joined the session now. So to teach the word adjective, noun, preposition, yes, it's advisable to do this. It's a do, right? When we teach, sometimes it's like when I was a student, I remember I didn't like knowing if it was an adjective or a noun or a preposition. But then as I continued studying, I learned that it was necessary. I needed to know that. And even more when I was teaching this. So when you teach them, yes, in the title, yes, adjectives to describe gadgets, words or verbs to talk about daily routine, but show them what it is. They need to get used to and also identifying this, because then if they speak the same language you speak, it will be easier to explain things. It's because here we need a verb, especially when you are then at higher levels and you need to train them for exams, then it's easier for you to tell them this is because it's a verb. Here we need a verb, we need an adjective. So yeah, it is a good thing to teach them what the words are. Oh, look at that. Jeffrey is on fire, just 4 seconds behind Carmen. Yes. And Santi, Tanya, and Katir's is still in the first 5 positions. Okay, let's go to number 4, and then we go to 5, and that's it. What do you think? Uh-huh. Yes, very nice. We're on the same page. Yes, teach all the different meanings of each word. teach all the different meanings of each word. I've made a mistake actually. All the different meanings of a word. Okay, it's my mistake. It's a don't. Yes. Oh my God. I when I created this, I forgot checking. I can't believe it. But anyway, now sometimes a word has more than one meaning, but it will appear in context, right? So imagine that we have the word, I don't know, watch. Yes. In one lesson, if we are talking about daily routine, I perhaps just need to teach my students that watch is connected to watch TV. Yes, watch a TV program, and not teach them in that lesson, but also watch it's what you put on your wrist to look at the time. And then also in another context, so no, yes, this is a don't actually. This is my bad. Sorry for that. So this is a don't. Not all the different meanings, they will appear gradually. And if someone asks you, yes, because sometimes there are students that are curious or remember because they also have seen the word in another context. Okay, in that case, if this particular student asks you, you can answer that very briefly, but don't go deeply into because it's this, and also you can do this, and then you expand, and that's not the idea. Yes, so little by little, and things appear gradually. Okay, that's my bad. But anyway, Carmen is on fire, answering very, very fast the questions. And this is the last one. Yes, number 5. Okay, let's see, what do you have? Yes, wow. 12 people say, model the pronunciation. Definitely. Yes, we need to model pronunciation. Okay, so let's see the podium. Yes. Okay, very nice. The winner. Well, the first place. Yes. Okay, you see, Santi. Very good, Santi. Yes, celebrating. Uh-huh. Okay, congratulations. Okay, and Catercina and Carmen Tavara. Yes, go, Santi, go. Yes, go, go, go. Always celebrate with your students. Okay, so now what everybody wins, we are teachers. Here is the prize in the chat box. I have find, what have you found? Have you found something? Can you open the link? What is it? Yes. Did you open the link? Did you find something there? I hope you have. Could you open it? Okay, so well, so that is a link that sends you to flashcards, right? So all of you want flashcards. Yes, very good. So maybe you can use them, I don't know, when you teach back face to face, or well, we never know when we will need flashcards, and why not having this in our toolkit. Yes, as teachers, we always have to be very resourceful. So there you go. So that's for all of you. Okay, so now let me go back to my presentation. And okay, so congratulations, everybody. So yes, so these are the classroom flashcards. Nasreen is a very nice teacher that has developed different topics, and well, that's maybe useful for you. Now, the second thing, I said we were going to discuss student-centered vocabulary techniques. So let me share some of these techniques. And the first one is, and I'm sure you do this, it's elicitation, right? Eliciting. So eliciting the words, right? So it's better to ask instead of trying to define the words or ask the student to give a definition in English, right? And if you have to I don't know, to explain something, always go from meaning. Yes, that's my suggestion. Go from meaning to word. Yes. So give them the meaning. Try to get the word from them, because sometimes we think, no, they don't know this. Maybe they do. So let's ask them, for example, something very simple, such as, this is the opposite of expensive, right? So I go, the opposite from expensive. What is the opposite of expensive? So, and let's see if they can tell you, right? So always try to get the word from them. Yes, Carmen, thank you very much. Yeah. So go from the meaning to the word. So they should be the ones that give you the word if you are defining, and something very short and very brief, like playing with the opposite of, um, and things like that. Yes. So elicitation, that's my first tip. Then, as I was mentioning at the beginning, rather than giving them a list, do everything in context, right? And it could be through a listening, through a reading, or maybe, I don't know, we are so creative, but the words need to appear in a context, because we need to make the students aware that it's not an isolated thing that appears here and there. No, it's within a context, right? And it's better if it's done like that. And the third one is, I'm sure you do this, and the pair and group work, the importance of working, giving them time to work with their peers. Yes, it's super, super important that we plan in our classes these moments where they can interact with their peers, and they can go to breakout rooms, or if they are face to face, have a small group where they can work together and produce something, a poster, a dialogue, or where they can compare their answers, and not only the teacher and the student. So we need to vary the interaction, and it's also very rich when they are with their peers, and they need to do that, I mean, in real life. So they need to start working on that from the very beginning. Okay. Okay, so those are my three techniques. And then, well, as Stolk and Kapnus said, good vocabulary instruction provides multiple exposures through rich and varied activities to meaningful information about the word. So when we are teaching vocabulary, we need to give our students as many chances to use the word, right? So that takes me to the vocabulary practice activities, which are, okay, so here is Hangman. Who hasn't played Hangman? Yes, Hangman is so fun. Good evening, Tanya. So we're gonna see this. Let me, okay, close this. Mhm. Okay, so let me show you. Have you used word wall? Yes, word wall is super, super. Yes, William. So word wall is one of my favorite softwares to play. Yes, to play things, and you don't need to create. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel. There are many teachers around the world that are collaborating on this, so you can find what you want. Yes, you can find what you want. For example, when I was working on clothes, I used this word wall that I found, and I liked it, because also you have to see, is it useful? Is it for the level of my students? So I played this. Well, my students played this. So look, and so we need to create ways, how can I make them remember to work with the words? So as you can see, we have this picture, and they have to, and it's always, this is in order, A, B, C, D, E, F, so no problem. So the first letter, for example, yes, students love this kind of thing. So, and they have to click, yes, and complete this hangman. Yes, so, and they get instant feedback. Yes, and that's it. So they go next. So perfect. So 7 points. Now, Now, what is this one? Okay, let's suppose I click this. So it shows me that it's not the word. Like, is it put this? And look, so they are not playing in front of anybody. It's just themselves, right? So they can so this activity tell you that we need to vary the interaction. So sometimes it has to be on, sometimes it could be in groups, but we need to vary the interaction. So this is a very useful activity, playing hangman. And let me share the link just in case you use it Unity, what you want to find. You need verbs, close vocabulary. So you just type it here. Yes. And then you will see lots of options, but you need to choose. Yes, be careful and check what you are opening and make sure that it's what you really need. All right. So that's hangman. Close, and you can share the link right with the student. Set this when you finish. If you want to have find the link is the Bamba Soul. Yes, have you heard Bamba Soul? Another lot, so you don't need to without thinking. I need
I think Glenda is having some problems with her connection. So let's just wait, please, for some minutes until she comes back. That's the tricky thing about internet. It's unpredictable. So during this last time that everyone is using it at the same time, it sometimes decides to play funny. Yes, thank you so much for waiting. I'm sure she'll be back soon. And then we can continue taking notes on this. I think someone was asking about WordWall. You just have to go in, and like Glenda was showing you, there is many things on tons of different subjects. Yes, it's a very interesting topic. No, Glenda, we can't see your screen. But she's back. Yay. Yes, if you haven't tried WordWall, you really should. It's very fun, and it has different games that you can use. So they have something that is like a Pac-Man. They have a contest, kind of a like Jeopardy, I guess, that is like a TV contest, and they get bonus points. It's very fun. I have used it a couple of times with my students, especially with young ones, and they love it. And sometimes after they finish the class, I give them the link so they can practice at home, because they're very, very engaging activities and they enjoy it. So you can do that like a way to reinforce what you have already done. Okay,
Okay.
now we have you
Yes.
back, Glenda.
Yes, thank you. I don't know. I was like, can you see my screen? And nobody replied. I was like worried. Okay, so I was sharing a Bamba Soul. Yes, a Bamba Soul. And this is something I do with my students. Hello, Virginia. How are you? And you can play in teams. Yes, so to vary the interaction with your students. So you play in teams. Team one, team number two. So just for fun, can you choose one number and tell me in the chat box, please? Yes, to see how it works. Okay, number 3, number 6, and 7. Okay, let's see. So number 3, yes, let's suppose that in this case, number 3 is Santa. Okay, Santa, let's suppose that you are team number 1. Yes, and Isabel team number 2. So we play in teams. So Santa chose number 7. So I click on number 7, and we have, this is a Bamba Soul about animals, right? So what animal is small, has wings, and it's beautiful? What do you think? Can you answer in the chat box? Uh-huh. Okay, let's suppose that Carmen Tabara is in the group, yes, in team number 1. And yes, so this is a point for, so it's okay. I, the teacher, validate the answer. So 15 points for team number 1. So congratulations, Carmen Tabara and her team with Santa. Okay, now Isabel chose number 6. So Isabel is in another group, team number 2. So number 6. Now, which animal is a farm animal, lives on a farm, gives us milk, eats grass? Now, what animal is it? Okay, yes. Okay, so Tanya, okay, very good. So let's suppose that Tanya, Virginia, Isabel, they are in team number 2. So I validate, I confirm that yes, it's a cow. So point for you. Yes, so this could be at the beginning of your class to revise vocabulary and so on. Yes, and the students can yes, very good. Some students can play. It's very funny because when this is, I didn't do this was already in Bamba Soul, and team 1 again chooses a number. Sometimes the numbers take you, I mean, quack, fly, and swim. What animal quacks, flies, and swims? So yes, yes, I'll share the page, the duck. Yes, okay. So and we play like that, and we continue playing. So the teacher confirms, check, and yes. So I give it a click on OK, and it's points for you. Now, when you create this Bamba Soul, the Bamba Soul usually has. It's very funny because it also has points against the people that participate. So maybe you choose a number and the number says you lose all your points. So it's a game, yes, and sometimes it says all your points pass to the next group. So the link is in the chat box. So this Bamba Soul, you can explore it. It's beautiful. There are many activities, and you decide when to stop it, because sometimes we have little time and we can't be playing all day long. So yes, as they would like to, because sometimes the students want to keep playing, and but anyway, so you can just do 3, 4, and you decide when to stop it, right? Now, so the link, yes, so the link, it's in the chat box. And now let me share the next activity. So okay, so Bamba Soul was done. Bamba Soul, bye. Okay, now what else? I think I closed my drive. 1 second, let me find it again. Oh yes, it's here at the top. Okay, so Bamba Soul, it's another way to have fun in your class. So it's a fun activity, and that was to be done in teams. Now, going back to individual activities, you can try also, for instance, crosswords. Yes, and I'm sure you have used live worksheets. So live worksheets offers lots of material. You can find so many good things for vocabulary, for pronunciation, for grammar. So for example, when I was revising vocabulary, I had this crossword. So it depends on the level. And as I said, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 words, just that. I don't need to have 20 words. It's just 8, and they do this on their own. I didn't do this. This was already created by a teacher, because teachers are collaborating and sharing their materials. Yes, so this is a teacher from Argentina, and you have to find family members. Okay, so look at this. So I complete my crossword. Yes, and I have to find the words. It looks very simple, right? But for a teacher, but sometimes for a student, it takes time to find the letters, to organize what they are going to write, to spell, how to spell the words. For us, it's very easy, right? But for them, it's a challenging. It's a challenge. So when they finish, if you are familiar, if you aren't familiar with this, when they finish this, they click on terminado, and then they click here, enviar mis respuestas a mi profesora. They type their names, they type, what else? Their course, the course is English, yes, if they have another specification or section maybe, and you introduce the email of your teacher. You have to create an account and enviar, yes, and that's it. You will receive, if you have an account, then you go to your account, you go to your inbox, yes, you go to your inbox and you have the evidence of their work. Yes, for example, if I go here to mi buzón de correo, I have all the activities that my students have done. So I can see here is my evidence, and it's already graded. I don't need to grade this, because they will get instant feedback. Yes, you can personalize the link. Yes, you can do many things. So the material is there. It's very good fun for our learners. And as I said, you have to explore it. Live Worksheets has a lot of material. And also please check, because there is everything. Here is the link for the live worksheet about family members, and you can adapt it. You can adapt it. You can. It's up to you. You can do many things. It will depend on your time, creativity, but the material is already there. At least is a base. We are not beginning from zero, and it has many tools, many things. Explore it. I really recommend live worksheets. Then now, what is next? Okay, let me share my screen again. And okay, here, where am I? Yes, here. All right, so we have seen the crossword. And well, as a Scrivener, I love a Scrivener. Scrivener says the action of noting down a list of lexical items is not guarantee that remembering will take place. That's why we need to keep doing things to help them remember. Yes, when we learn new words, we need to see them and see them and see them, because it's not just writing them down in a notebook or typing them and making a list. That is not enough. When we remember words according to Scrivener, the process is this: you put the words into storage. Yes, now here it is in my brain. Now I need to retrieve it. Yes, I need to bring it back. And who does that? If the students don't do that on their own, teachers have to help them retrieve that, because they need to use the language they have learned. And then again, it goes back to my storage, but with more content. And the process repeats again. I retrieve it, I use it, I put it back, and I confirm, and it goes back and it stays longer, right? So for that reason, it's always a very important that when we are teaching, we have to, yes, we have to recycle. And if the book doesn't have that, we need to add it. Yes, for example, this is a page of one of the books I'm using right now, and here the vocabulary was very nicely presented. There was the words were in context. Yes, we had a listening, 3 listening texts, and after the listening, they came to this activity where they had to write the words under the picture. And after that came another exercise to complete sentences with the vocabulary. And then at the end, it was a question: choose the most embarrassing situation, because the context was embarrassing situations, and that's it. But I said, no, this is not enough. And what did I do? So after listening, because that was the context, the words appeared in the listening. After that, and after matching, and can you see the words are in context? It's not just like a say, click, forget. No, it's click on, reply to all, forget someone's name. So we need to give them the vocabulary, if possible, in chunks, the collocations, so that they get used to seeing that and not words in isolation, right? So here you have send, but send what? A text to the wrong person. Forget, but forget, only forget, not forget someone's name. So they need to see the words within a frame, in a in how they can use them. They need to start seeing how the word is used in context. So after doing this, I sent my students into breakout rooms to speak, because in the textbook there was no speaking activity. It was just like the listening and then the matching and then complete sentences. But I said, no, they need to speak. How can they learn if they are not repeating, if they don't use the vocabulary they have just seen? So I sent them to breakout rooms, and then they started speaking, have you ever, and also they were recycling something they had seen, which was the past perfect. Have you ever got lost? Have you ever arrived late? And the topic, the context you give them is also very important. It was embarrassing events. Who hasn't had an embarrassing event in their lives? So it was something that they loved, and they started speaking, and it was very, very good fun. Now, and they need to personalize it. Yes, Santa, absolutely, I agree. Yes, I couldn't agree more. They need to personalize the language. It is more memorable that they talk about themselves using the language. Because if it's just like the book, the teacher's story, but no, what about my story? So they need to have the chance to personalize what they have learned. And that's why teachers need to help them do that. Now, the Google Slides is another useful thing that we can do. I'm sure you also do this, and you can use this for activities like spot the difference, yes, which is a kind of information gap activity. When I played this with my students, they were like well, I teach remotely, so I continue doing this online, but I have already, I mean, I've done this face to face as well, but you can also do the online version. And I shared, now here in the chat box, you have a student A and a student B. Yes. So they had this student A, student B, they had to spot the difference. And well, in this activity, they had to describe the, the picture, and there is the vocabulary that they needed to use. Yes. So here there were um shops. They had worked with prepositions, so they had to describe this to each other. And also it was very, 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 very useful for them to see, uh, to recycle the words, right? So this comes from a book that I really loved. It has a lot of materials, also the Reward Elementary. And so they were recycling the words, but in context. It's not just like florist, travel agent. No, it was in a context. There is a florist, and more words appear, because I mean, language is necessary, and they will recycle what they are doing or what they did before, because I didn't tell them use this language or this, but it's like they need to use it. So they needed prepositions, they needed the words we had seen, and it was very, very good. Okay, now what else? So that so in the chat box you have the link to this material. So if you want to use it, there it is for you. And what else? Let me see. Okay, so another thing that I also do, it's the crosswords. Yes, the crosswords could be on their own, like the family crossword I shared with you in the live worksheets, but this could also be done online. So line. Yes, and here is a crossword that I have used student A and student B, but you have to be very clear when you give the instructions. Yes, when you give the instructions, okay, you're a student A, and show them how it works. You always have to show them how it works. You're going to write this and give them an example of how they can begin the activity. Yes, student A, tell me, okay, so student A, can you see number 2 is empty? So ask student B, tell me number 2, please. I have a delegate in my class. My delegate is my always the person that I work with to give an example to my students. Okay, so I am A, you are B. You have this. Let's imagine that I can't see it, but you have number 2. I don't have number 2. So tell me number 2. And my student tells me and say, okay. Now I write, is it the same? Yes. So you need to teach them how it works, and then you can share the links, right? So never share the links before they have understood how the activity works. And let me share this crossword. And well, this crossword takes about 15-20 minutes. And also, in order to have an evidence of their work, yes, I created this worksheet. Can you see in the chat box? I have the crossword, the student A and the student B. So then they could share it with me, and I had evidence of their work, right? And then I can save it. I can reuse it. You can reuse it when it's in Google Slides. I like it because you can reuse this. You can reuse this many times. Yes, you just go here to File, and then here make a copy. So you can make a copy and a copy and a copy, and you can give this to other groups. And here they write their answers and well, their names and everything. Okay, and okay, let me see. So that was the crossword, and we are getting near the end of my presentation. Another thing, as I said, we have to help them learn the words. We have to help them memorize and remember. Yes, the idea is that the word sticks with them, and they see them in different ways. So another way to do that is the acrostics. Yes, and you can ask them to create an acrostic. I don't know, for example, with the word teacher. Yes, we are teachers, and teachers are thoughtful, encouraging, amazing, caring, hardworking, enthusiastic, resourceful. Yes, we are, aren't we? So, um, really? Okay, I'll give you the permission. Don't worry. I'll give the permission in a moment. Just let me finish my presentation, and then I'll give you permission. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And okay, so now acrostics. Let me share with you something about the acrostics. There is a website that allows you to create acrostics and also to have evidence of this. If you need to create a file and share it with somebody, you can go here. Yes, this website is very, very useful. And you just, you can design your acrostic sheet. So you type it. Yes, I want that the acrostic is about the word teacher. So I type teacher. Yes, and then I go create worksheet. And I will have the worksheet that, well, if you are working face to face, you can print it or also share it with your students. Yes, and you don't need to do this. Yes, so okay, here is the link for the acrostics. Yes, so you can create the acrostic you want, any word, the times you want. So you just type what you want. Yes, love. Okay, so here, love, create worksheet, and the worksheet is here. And you can download it, you can print it and reuse it, and you don't need to to worry about I have to type. So it's super easy, super easy. All right, so okay, so that was I think the last activity. And okay, let me see. Yes. Okay, and of course, when students learn a language, we also have to help them uh, develop their autonomy. Yes, so it's not only the teacher always forever. They need to know how they can learn, how they can study. There are many tools, and for example, Quizlet is one of them. Yes, so I also encourage my students to create their own Quizlets. Yes, and if you have done this before, you can use this. Well, they give you definitions, but there are many activities they can do here in the Quizlet. One of them is, for example, uh, well, they can match the words. Yes, they can also, if you see here on the left, you have the features, which is this option. I can also do this with them, the first part, yes, the features, a very small living thing that causes infectious diseases. And they were, virus. Okay, so, and then we continue. And after doing this, yes, this was about COVID, I send them to continue in Aprender. And in Aprender, they will see the same vocabulary, yes, but now in this case, they will see it in the in this way, multiple choice. Yes, the government order for, so after they had already seen the words with you, now here comes in another way, yes, in the form of aprender. And after aprender, they can also go to probar. They can go, yes, can you see? This is the picture. Now here they have to type the what is the word for this, and they can also go to probar. They can go to many options, not just the features. Yes, so they have features, they have aprender, they have escribir, they have ortografía, so they can play and do this on their own. Yes, and this is just outside class. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of my short presentation, very fast. And now, yes, so we have covered, okay, let me just for the record. So we have covered this part. Okay, let me see here. Yes. So now it's a moment for the conclusions. So just to remind you that don't teach too many words in one lesson. Yes. Number two, present and use the new words in context. Yes, with their collocations, with their the form, right? I will say this in a moment. Elicit the words from the students. Don't teach all the meanings of a word at once. One meaning, yes, depending on the context. In that context, what does it mean? Yes, elicit the form. Is it an adjective, a verb, a noun? Teach the pronunciation of the words, right? So this was my agenda. So we do's and don'ts, student-centered vocabulary techniques, fun vocabulary practice activities, and the conclusions. Now it's the moment for the Q&A, right? So yes, that's it.
Yes, thank you so much, Glenda. This was very interesting. I'm sure that everyone has at least 3 or 4 new resources that we hadn't used before. I took notes like crazy. And thank you. It was very interesting. Yes, and I
Oh,
think that
thank you
now
very
we can
much.
have the, yes, I don't know if there's questions. Um, could you share the presentation?
Yes, I think, yes, Miriam, you have the presentation. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so that's it. This is my email. And well, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining the session. And yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, everybody. It was super fast. I had to do it very quickly. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Yes, for spending your Sunday with me. And well, that tells a lot of your willingness to improve and to keep learning, right? Because this is a long path, and there are so many things that we can learn and refresh and benefit from in this re-evolution 2.0. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, so I think if there are no questions, then that will be the end of my presentation.
Yes, there, Monica is asking you to please don't forget to give them the permissions for the documents that you shared. And I'm uploading the presentation to a drive now, and I'm going to be sharing the link as soon as it's done uploading, so everyone can have the presentation.
Okay, yes, 1 second, let me see. Viewer. Yeah, they should be able to see the document. I have just checked and it says viewer. Okay, but let me see. I'll share the PDF. Maybe that's easier. Can I share a PDF here? I'm not sure. Can I? Can I upload a PDF in the chat box or not? I don't know.
Sorry, my microphone was off. I think not, but if you upload it, or I think you can only share links.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I can upload it to the same file where I'm uploading the presentation.
Okay, I'll share them with you then, because
Yes. So I can send it to everyone.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Thank you. Yes, look, I also teach my students the pronunciation. If you feel comfortable with the phonemic chart, it's also a very good idea to teach them that and challenge them to read what it says. Yes, and as you see, it's always very good to have what is this? It's adjectives. Yes, and everything in context. Okay, well. See you around. So let's enjoy the rest of the conference and have a very nice Sunday. Yes. Bye.
Yes, thank you so much, Glenda, and thank you everyone for joining us. This was very, very useful. And well, I'm uploading the presentation, so just give me a couple of minutes so I can send it on the chat.
And okay, I'll share the PDFs in the WhatsApp, and then you please upload them to this link you say you have. I gave permission as a viewer, but maybe you want to write, but no, I'm viewer. Okay, let me share it in the WhatsApp. Mm. Mm. Okay, Miriam, I have just shared the documents. Yes, the student A, student B for the crossword, and student A, student B for the picture in the shops in the street. So you can share them.
Yes, I just got them.
And well, everybody can upload them to their website and their Google form. Okay, thank you. Oh, I see a question. Oh, well, maybe Jocelyn is not here. I don't know. But yes, it's a very good idea. Yes, I agree with Jocelyn Palomino. It is a very good idea. It's very demanding, but yeah, it is worth doing. I've done that and it was like awesome. I have seen beautiful, Pictionaries, and it's very useful. It's very very useful. But it's then to correct that, that's the thing. But you can do it on your own, and then you have the material with you, and you can also download it. You can mm, you can keep it there and everybody can see it as well. I don't know if you have heard of Wakelet. Yes, Wakelet is also, it's free, and Wakelet has it gives you the chance to upload things, so they could create their Pictionaries here in Wakelet. And yes, I have, these are my Wakelets. Yes, so far. Here, Wakelet is a very useful tool for the Pictionary that Jocelyn is mentioning. Yes, Wakelet. You can do that in Wakelet. And here, I don't know, for example, my students did this. Yes, here, for example, they did this, and everybody puts the material here, but it's only in PDF form, and they can share it with you, and people can see it. They can give them likes also, and it's a very good source for if you want to create a Pictionary, if you want to. Um, I don't know, upload things and everybody can see this. Yes, you can divide it into many things. Yes, and it works with PDFs, PDF versions. They convert it to PDF. Yes, Wakelet is very good for that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the presentation, well, the link for the drive with the documents is already on the chat. So you can, it's open for everyone, so you can have the information there.
Thank you, Miriam. It was very useful. Okay. Yes. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. No problem, Emily. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I don't know if there's any more questions. Yes, you have a couple of questions on questions and answers.
Oh,
Uh,
hadn't seen that.
yes,
Oh,
they're asking you how many words do you suggest we should teach in a lesson?
mm, it could be like from 6. I don't know. It could be just 3. It depends really. If it's a listening or a reading, sometimes they need just 3, 4 words. And if it's apart from that and it's in context, maybe 8, maximum 8 to 10. As I showed you, it depends. It always depends on the level. And but if it's in context, it's really good. Yes, and I would say 10 maximum. And because the idea is that they can use the words. Yes, it's not just like we teach them, okay, here is the list, but then if they don't use them, so is it really worth teaching so many if they are not going to use all those words? So I would suggest up to 10 words maximum, right? And yes,
Yes.
I always do that.
Uh-huh. Yes, you have Amelie asking if at what moment of the lesson they could use these tools that you have just showed us, because they take time.
They take time. Yes, they do take time. It depends because, as I said, this could be at the beginning of a lesson in order to recycle the words, or it's because it depends. The class, maybe your class could be just a vocabulary class. And if it's a vocabulary class, yes, sometimes you need to take decisions and separate the time to do this. Yes, when I, for example, when I did this class about gadgets, my students, the class was just the length of the hour was for the gadgets, and so here we had only 8 words, and we use them like this, and then we practice the pronunciation. They did matching activities, they completed a dialogue, and then they produced their dialogue. So all the class was just the vocabulary, but it was in context, and they saw it
Mhm.
in different ways. Yes, so the whole class was just vocabulary. So sometimes we need to make a space for that. It's going to be vocabulary today, yes, but in context, right? And that's it. And then another class, it will be connected to other things, and I will do grammar, but I sometimes dedicate a whole class for vocabulary teaching just for that.
Yes, Carmen is asking about sketchnoting. That is a technique for visual note taking, and if you think that it could be useful for improving students' vocabulary.
Of course, of course. Anything that they, I mean, sometimes learners have different learning styles or preferences, and some of them like drawing. So why not having them draw things? It's also very good. It will depend on the level and how many students you have, but yeah, of course they can do that. And you have Jamboard that is very useful also for this kind of things. And it's the more they are exposed to the word in different ways, it's the better. The Scrivener, for example, he's one of the authors I really like when it comes to teaching. Yes, one of my favorite books, Scrivener. So he says that when we learn a word, we have to first we have to like write it down, and then after writing it down, we need to put next to the word the meaning. Yes, the meaning of the word, the picture of the word, yes, and sometimes the category, the form. Is it a noun, an adjective, a verb? And he also says next to it collocations and the pronunciation, as well as the example, your own example with the word. Yes, I'm not sure if students nowadays have a notebook. Yes, but it's always very good to have a notebook, and when you learn the word, try to keep it in, I mean, all the information about the word, the picture, the name, the translation if necessary, the pronunciation, an example of the word, and that will make it more memorable. And if they can sketch it, yes, that's also very useful. It is indeed. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Carmen is asking you to share the name of the book and the author, please.
Oh yes, it's Scrivener. Okay, the name is Learning Teaching, Learning Teaching, the Essential Guide to English Language Teaching. Okay, where is the chat? It's Learning Teaching. Yes, Miriam Tejada. Very good. Learning Teaching by Jim Scrivener. Uh-huh. Yes, the collocations. Yes, Johnny Cardenas, Cornelio, what's about the vocabulary that collocates? The collocations. What do you mean, the collocations? When we teach them words, we have to also give them the word in a context, right? And that's when I think about collocations, because if I just teach the word in isolation, then it's not clear how I can use them. But if I teach them do exercise, I do exercise every morning, I do my homework after the class finishes, and I put the word in a collocation, so they start like learning the word in that way. It's do homework, it's do exercise, rather than just a list of verbs. Okay, do, have, eat, drink, but drink what? Do what? Make what? And as they continue learning, then they are going to start seeing in the book, they start seeing uh, if they are using a textbook, they are going to start seeing that they contrast make and do, tell and say, but they need to have seen the word in a context, and they need to remember, it's like that. So it will stick in their heads. That is make a cup of coffee, it's watch TV, it's listen to the radio. Yes, so like that. So that's it.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Glenda, for helping us with all those doubts.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Okay, thanks a lot. Yes, thank you. Okay, and is it time to go to another session? I don't know. I was worried about the time, and now I think I have more time than I had expected.
Yes, well, the next session is starting in 2 minutes, so I think that we can.
Really? Okay, we're on time. Yes, I
Yes.
was like worried about the time. Okay, Angelica, thank you. Yes, it's always very good to share. And also you should share with your colleagues what works for you, because sometimes contexts are different. Yes, I'm talking from the point of a university teacher. But of course, this can also be applied and adapted to other levels. But what about you? You in your school, maybe do something for your level, for the grade you are teaching. If there are other teachers, you can get together and do something like this, right? Sharing. And now that we have this, well, you must be tired of Zoom and this kind of platforms, but well, still, it's a chance we cannot just ignore, and people are. It's easier. We are more connected. Hmm. Yes, Gabriela. Thank you, Glenda and Miriam. Yes, very good. Yes, Miriam has been very kind sharing this. Uh huh. Okay. Thank you, Amelie. Yes, there are many, Amelie. Oh, if you saw all, I vary, of course, but it's the less the better, because also students have to get used to working with that. Yes, we cannot be like one day here and the other day changing to another one. They need to get used to how things work. So I work with word wall for a time, and then I moved to I don't know, to Bamba Soul. But it's not like one day word wall and the following day Bamba Soul, and it's like, oh, that's not also the idea, right? So little by little. Okay. Yes. Mhm. Yes, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, very nice. Participated in the Kahoot. I remember your name uh, in the leading board. And there are many. There are many, 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 many tools. Many, many, many. It's just sometimes the time. Yes. Google Slides is awesome. 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 Hmm. Okay.
All right. I think it's time for the next session.
Hmm.
So thank you so much, everyone, for your questions, for all the input that you put on the chat. It was very, very nice to read all your comments. And thanks again, Glenda. This was awesome. I think I only knew one of the no, two of the tools that you shared. So I'm going to be using them in my next classes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. And yes, we have to see when it's better for our students, and also in what moment. Yes, as I said, is just teachers. Teachers know when. We know our students better than anybody else. So thank you very much. Success in all your classes, in all the rest of the school year. Yes, unbelievable. We are in October. Yes. So success with that. Uh-huh. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.